Which sign do you get smaller or
I've got one.
I know. I meant to get one last year.
He collects my money.
I'm not sure that's gonna work for them. They're so specific.
Yeah,
Also, federal money that's in the treaty
I think
has to be,
have you ever seen the sign?
doesn't mean what you're gonna do to satisfy them.
Have you ever seen
So,
Yes.
They're nice.
she's checking to see how much she has. I think enough to start
Is that Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
I've been here. The other thing, we can evaluate, that all around. But, you know, we can look across the line, cash together, like 2 or 3 different ways to do it. We're working on it. Trying to get there, but I mean, that's the implication, like you said, for all our other projects.
That's my biggest
We may
concern.
have to
So,
look
why did you
at critical and maybe if we can pay policy. Maybe the process will come back down.
Maybe 5 hours, a couple of times a week.
Talked to me yesterday. She started in the office this morning. She asked the clients and I said, I know there's something.
selling that?
So they're all ready. I said today, I said, that's exactly what I said. He said, so you're gonna give me a chance? I said, absolutely, we are giving you a chance. So at 3:25, she is going to dismiss him to confront somebody else wants to go. Park down there, so I can get out of here with him. And so that's what she said. And I said, the minute you screw up, it's the minute you don't get to do that. The pictures. So I asked
So,
You're doing all the work.
yeah, so whatever I get out.
Yeah.
Real ID.
So is this something that I should
When I get up there.
I'll probably do the rest
Do
of it.
I need to delete it? I said, I said,
See, it's just stuff like that. This next year,
I
I've
said,
been
she said,
Lenoir and all
she has problems.
the
So he showed me his bill. And he said,
I just got
that girl, the person in there, no, the person
get it out there.
looked at his phone. His phone was blinking out. She looked at it. And I guess she didn't know that she got to see.
Fans. Grass leaves on. They don't feel flexible right now. And,
That is not.
Amy thinks it's some stuff. So, jewelry and sometimes out here, they get all that stuff.
Get them all.
So,
Okay, so that's good.
so anyway,
Now, Pastor John, that church, since he's been there, on Sunday mornings, it's gotten so busy, they're bringing in chairs.
They're in here for a reason.
They're averaging, so in all instances, only maybe 4 or 5. $13.
Check your brain. But I hope they don't see Don. Hey,
You guys ready to get rolling?
Already, good man.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the, I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 12th, 2021 Lenoir City Board of Education meeting. Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Here.
Rick Chadwick,
Here.
Glenn McNish,
here.
Mitch Ledbetter, Bobby Johnson is absent.
Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence. Do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 5, approval of agenda.
Make a motion, we approve.
Got a motion by Mr. McNish,
I'll second.
a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
You already got me mad before we've been started.
All right, item number 6, approval of minutes from the July 8th regular board meeting.
I'll entertain a motion, we approve.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick,
Second.
second from Mr. McNish. Any discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Next up, do I hear we pay the bills?
I guess we better.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion through the report, judge committee report.
I have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Chadwick. Any discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
All right, on to new business. Item number 10, approval of award bid for the LCHS additions and renovations. Dr. Barker, would you like to?
Yes, board, we have with us today architect Mr. Brian McDonald, who is here to answer any questions you may have. But you do see there, you have before you a recommendation from our architect and the bid process to go ahead and award the bid to Monolith and Construction Company out of Knoxville for $960,382. So you have the documentation there to see that there were 3 bidders. Monolith is the low bidder on the project. And so this is coming in over our estimated amount, which is probably no surprise. So if you have any questions, then I would ask that you refer those. We have our architect here who has worked with this construction process and the bidders as well. So if there's any questions, we'll answer those for you.
I'll entertain a motion that we do the additions and renovations.
What was the large increase in the bathrooms? I mean, that's, we had budgeted 132,000, it come in at 225. I mean, that's, yeah, you're on 71%, I mean, what was,
Masonry cost through the roof, that's both of that cost increase. We're gonna work with the contractor upon award of the bid, to see if there's some things we can do to reduce those costs. Once we get underway, we'll take a look. There's a couple of other, items that are long lead items, they let us know. We're looking at options there as well, so that we don't delay the project. But certain
are we
construction,
locking prices in? I mean, I know construction prices are going, you know,
yeah,
double tomorrow. Well, I mean, we get halfway into this, and now we're not only over $178,000, we're $278,000. What?
well, now.
If there's any kind of guarantee or, I mean, I know
There's
construction,
no
but
guarantee. I mean,
I've
there's
been in it all my life, so, but still.
it's kind of unprecedented, some of the increases of the last 6 months or so, but, knowing the market conditions and what they are, we'll be able, going forward in the next couple of projects, to tailor some of the, materials, so forth, that we can, try to avoid items that are both, experienced a higher increase in cost and a longer lead time on delivery.
So would you say most of this increase in cost is due to materials?
Yes, and labor. In some cases, contractors are only receiving one subcontractor bid for certain portions of the work. And so when that happens, that's the only number you can take.
So basically, we're looking at pulling money from fund balance or from capital project.
And we are working with a couple of other opportunities, partnering with food service. We're checking on that now to see if we can partner with them for some of the furniture. So we have pulled more dollars out of our federal funds and supplemented that with where we are, what we had initially talked about doing. So, Ms. Mallory, do you want to address any of that, or just?
Yeah, we can go back to those funds that we set aside in capital projects funds, and take anything, additional that we need to. We can, we're not to the end of the road on our last year's books yet, so we don't really have a clear, picture of our fund balance for the end of the year. We, could possibly go back to GP for some of that as well. So, we've got funds in various places we can pull from. It's just deciding which the best place to pull from will be.
After we move the money out of the fund balance to the capital projects, and we allot it for how much we thought this would cost, we still had, wasn't it, about $180,000 that was unallocated, so we could use that.
In the capital project?
We
I think it's
more
close to
than that.
$500,000.
Yeah, it was more than that.
Yeah, so, I mean, the money would still be there in the capital projects fund to take care of this increase. So, and based on that, I'll second Rick's motion.
So I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick, a second from Mr. McNish. Any other discussions? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 11, approval of milk food, non-food, and dish room chemical bids for 2021-2022. Dr. Parker.
Yes, this is Ms. Vicki Bivens. She has followed the appropriate protocols for bidding all of the food service pieces that she needed to, and so she just brings this to show you the recommendations, and these were going with the low bidders there. You can see she's part of a buying cooperative, so you can see all those school districts that are listed there that are a part of being a cooperative and now allows them to get better pricing. And so as part of that, all of these groups have come together for this bid. So we ask for approval for this.
Make the motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Muniz, second by Mr. Ledbetter. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 13, approval of revisions on the following policies. Policy,
Go back to 12.
sorry. Number 12, sorry. Approval of LCHS Football Booster Club School Sport Organization Annual Information Form.
So this is the submission for the Booster Club, and their annual approval so that you all have verification of their status as a nonprofit organization.
Okay, you, Jeannie?
Yes, they've satisfied everything they need to satisfy.
She's happy, I'm happy.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
A motion by Mr. Ledbetter,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Now on to item 13. Approval of revisions for the following policies. 1.8011 emergency closings. This is what we discussed in our workshop.
It is.
I'll entertain a motion.
Have a motion from Mr.
Second.
Second, Mr. McNish. Any other discussion?
We're approving all three or just, which one?
We do them all.
You can do all three. Yes.
Okay, so you want me to read the other ones then?
Yes.
3.205 security and 5.106 application and employment.
I'll entertain a motion. We do all three.
Have a motion from Mr. Chadwick.
I'll second Mr. Chadwick's motion.
Second, Mr. Ledbetter. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Well, that was short and sweet. Item 14, superintendent's comments.
Yes. Board, I want to thank you for your work today, and so, Mr. McDonald, I guess we get busy. Getting our cafeteria done and the remodel of bathrooms in the commons area, and that is our first step in increasing our capacity to serve students, and addressing what we need to there. We also, with that, talking about capacity, I want to bring the board up to date on where we are with our enrollment. Currently, right now, including our pre-K students, we've just gone over the 2,500 student count. That's including pre-Ks, 2,502 right now. We are continuing to see some fluctuation with enrollment. We still have some parents that are on waiting lists trying to get in to some of our schools. We had originally planned 3 class size reduction teachers in our ESSER plan and the things that we're working on. And I want to give the board an update on those. I allocated 1 to the high school so that they could address some overcrowding of some classes there. And just today, I'm awarding 2 to the middle school to be used in grades 4 and 5. We indeed are serving a lot of students. I see heads shaking back there in our audience, people that have been trying to make these numbers work. And I'm surprised Mr. Maloney isn't standing on his head right now, because he has been calling me daily, wanting another kindergarten teacher. So we're going to be looking at how that fleshes out as well. So I may be coming back and saying we need to add yet another teacher. All of these are coming with, the documented students that would support these requests for having the students. So, Mr. Maloney has had some very interesting conversations with parents who are on a waiting list and who truly want to be a part of our school system. So that's a good problem to have. But as we address this, as we add teachers, then we have to add space for the teachers. We need materials for the teachers. All of those things that come along with adding that service to our students. So we think it's very important to focus on all of the personal attention that we can for our students, because as you may know, our TCAT data has come out statewide and district-wide, and as we expected, students did not do as well across the state, and I'm sure across the nation, I just haven't seen those numbers, but across the state this year, based on the pandemic effects. And whether they were in school, or whether they were hybrid, or whether they were remote, the issues were still the same, with fear, anxiety, all of those, isolation, not having access to a teacher when they needed to have access to them. So all of those issues have created us an opportunity that we have got to have an urgency about using every minute of the day that we have to make sure students are getting all of the quality instruction that they need, and providing those quality teachers to accomplish that, particularly in lowering a teacher-student ratio. So we're working hard. We have just submitted our ESSER 3 document and supporting documentation, and are awaiting feedback from the state to tell us what, if there's any tweaking, anything we need to do in that. I will say the focus is on academics and educators, doing what we need to do, and student readiness and social emotional support. So those are the things that we're focusing on in our ESSER plan, and we're waiting to get some feedback there. So that has been submitted. Also, I will say that our nurses are working very diligently to get ready to implement the epidemiology and laboratory grant that they received. We have begun to receive all of our testing supplies, and the nurses next week will go through training. So we hope to be able to have the testing opportunity available for students and families and teachers by August 23rd. That's the date that they have given us, that we hope to be able to have that ready and going. And that is all in an effort to keep us in school, because we know when we look at this data from last year, we know students need to be in school. We believe parents want them in school. Teachers want to have those students in their classrooms. So we are focusing on doing everything possible to make sure that our students are in school every day with a great experience, and that we can work on remedying some of the concerns that we see coming up in the data that has been shared. So with that, I also want to say that we are looking at a regular schedule for our extracurricular. You have there the football schedule that has been given to you at your place. Know that we will have a tailgate opportunity for families. This is for all families and all ages at the high school on August the 20th. We're looking forward to that. And then I will say that Mr. Cross has been working with the chorus and has planned a New York City field trip that for the spring that we have approved. We approved that originally, but I did ask him to go back and make sure that there was insurance available and it would cover any pandemic issues if they came up. So he has provided me the documentation that students have access to that will provide that kind of coverage in the event that something causes them not to be able to participate in this particular field trip. So I did want to add that to information that we had already approved for that field trip. So we're looking forward to getting back busy. It has been very busy. Enrollments increasing, and all of the kids are just happy to be back. Again, we have quite a few students that are still wearing masks. We have teachers that are wearing masks. That is just fine. It is their personal choice, and we just ask everybody to be healthy and take care of themselves. Do you all have any questions?
What are our wait list numbers now, today?
Wait list, we had 3 at the middle school and 7 in kindergarten. That was his last? 7 in kindergarten on wait list?
7.
3 total at the middle, you need the high school.
Most of the ones at the middle school have already found another location if they were, how many did you have to start with?
There were probably 10, 15.
So they've gotten busy enrolling in other schools, but now we really do, with our students, we just have a large group in those grades, and we will be able to serve those 3 that are left.
Where are we seeing the biggest growth in students?
I have
At the
168.
Kindergarten. And I don't know that that's, you know, a lot of them are 6 already. The thinking is that maybe families held them out last year.
Last year.
I mean, we're at 130. I don't know that we've ever had that, not in my 18 years, have we ever seen that many. So, and it may not be, but that's kind of the thinking at this point, is it might be a spike because some parents held them out last year.
The kids that are on the waiting list, like for kindergarten, are they actually going somewhere else, or are they just not going anywhere and just waiting?
I have some that are looking at Roane County. I have one family in Greenback, and she said, I want Lenoir City Elementary. My child's 5 years old. I'll just wait and enroll her next year. Because in Tennessee, you can be 6 and be in kindergarten. She said, I want that, your school bad enough to hold her out. So that's, I mean, you know, that kind of makes you feel pretty good.
On
Must
this,
not know you to.
Probably not.
on this 2,502, how does, what's ballpark roughly break down per school, high school, middle?
We have 700 at the middle school.
700 at the middle?
What'd you have last year?
I think we ended at
657?
something, 690 something. It fluctuated there at the end.
And I think.
It feels like a whole lot more because we were on hybrid a lot of the year last year. So
Yeah.
that, I mean, there's a lot of that kind of adjustment going on for everyone right now.
550 at the elementary.
How does that compare to last year?
We're up a few, maybe 20, 25.
High school has 1234 right now. I think it was about there last year, wasn't it, Chip?
1155.
Okay. So we are up then.
What was it last year?
1155.
You're at 12, what'd you say?
1234.
What was our average daily attendance last year?
Average
23
daily,
something?
it was now 2380, something like
23,
that.
24?
And we have added pre-K. We have 67 in pre-K.
Time to have a teacher.
So our students are there, and you know, we definitely want to have the best class size possible. We all know that the teacher matters, and so we want our teachers to have the best opportunity they can to serve all of the students in the classroom. And we have gotten wonderful materials. They have wonderful support from our academic coaches and our leaders and administrators. We just want to maximize every minute that we can in the classroom to help these students. We know, we have been told, and now I believe it, that this is a 3 to 5 year track that we have in order to try to make up some of the time that has been lost. And I notice I say time, because time equals learning. And so, you know, we did the summer programming. We'll do summer programming again next year. So we are looking at also implementing tutoring, high dosage, low ratio tutoring. And so that is something that we have in our ESSER plan. So we really do want to make sure that we have the people that have the capacity to serve our kids, and you know, just having more teachers and more opportunities for students, I think, is going to be key. So our enrollment is up, and that's good. So if we do need to look at, another teacher, I'll be coming back and talking to you about that. We are keeping close eyes on that. Mr. Maloney calls me daily. Multiple times.
What does he call you? No, no comment.
Gentlemen, you have anything else?
No.
Mitch, anything? I'd like to thank everyone for talking to their county commissioners. I think we've made some improvements, some headroads in the funding they've got from the city schools. If you don't know, they're having a special called session on the 16th.
That's right, 99.
To hopefully vote on refunding some of that down the road. If you do know them, it might not be bad to touch them again. But hey, we want to keep, we got a growing system here. Sounds like we need some more teachers. That's what pays for it. So thanks for everyone that's helped so far. If nothing else, I'll hear a motion.
A motion to adjourn.
Motion from Mr. Ledbetter,
Second.
second Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Thank you.
Thanks. I got it. Feel official.
Where did that come from? Did you sign it? It appeared. It was there the whole time. He just wanted to be dramatic.